What's up, everybody? It is time for Drop a Line. We are on tonight with Andrew, the co-founder of One True Promotion. He's been on before, but tonight he has a very, very special announcement. Please welcome Andrew. And we are live with Andrew. Andrew, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. It's great to have you back here. You have been behind the scenes for this entire season of Drop a Line. It's nice to finally be able to have you on camera and give you some attention and get the scoop on what you got going on. How's today been for you?
Pretty crazy. I mean, this whole week's been pretty crazy. A lot of sleep that I needed to gain up on after Boy State. We had your wedding shower.
We did
on Saturday, and then of course we had Arts and Arts Authors Extravaganza, and we have Drop a Line. So it's been a pumped week, full of things to do. Both of us have been crazy busy.
Sure has. Tell us a bit about this Boy State. What is this Boy State you speak of?
So Boy State is a American Legion program that teaches about government politics. Basically, they take high school juniors from all around the state and they put them in random cities. And it's their goal to learn politics from the ground up and basically create their own government.
Very, very nice. And how long have you been going?
I was a delegate in 2009, and I have been a staff member ever since, so about 10 years now.
And what are the duties of a staff member?
Well, it depends on what position you're at. For what I'm doing as an SEC, I'm pretty much in charge of guiding the students, basically making sure that everything runs smoothly, making sure that I'm teaching the other younger staff members how to effectively navigate the program, and of course, teach them anything that they might not know about the political system and sort of help them pass that knowledge on to anybody who might be in the program.
So you've been doing this for 10 years, and I personally think it's very impressive. And I want the audience to know, because I wouldn't know unless you told me, just how esteemed it is. Can you give us an example, like a concrete example of how you make sure things run smoothly? You can go back to any incident or thing that you did in the last 10 years working there.
Well, I think something that's really important for an SEC to do, especially day one, is establish the rules of the city, right? Because it is their government, right? So they have to know like what to do, like how to be introduced to the government process. A lot of these kids have never ever had any experience with government, don't know what the positions are. So a lot of the first day goes into explaining how the voting works, how to run for elections, what to expect from running from elections, what the positions are, like things like guide on or EBO or election board official. They wouldn't have any idea what that is unless you sort of give them the raw detail of it. So a lot of it is just educating about what these positions are and why they are so important from not only the local level, but the state level as well.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. And this took place where?
We have it at Rider University every year. And it's actually a very special year this year. We lost a year because of COVID. So it was the first time ever that high school seniors actually attended the program, since the program is primarily for high school juniors. Anyone who missed out on last year's session was able to come back if they so choose. And it just so happened to be our 75th anniversary. So we got special Boy State pins. We got special Boy State shirts. Let me see if I got it right here. I sure do. I got to wash it, but... Usually, staff members are used to wearing the blue, and the statesmen are used to wearing the white. but we got the special 75th on our sleeve here. Got the American Legion logo right there.
Mm-hmm.
I like these gold shirts. They're my favorite. I mean,
They are nice shirts.
no knocking on the dress blues, but I do love the gold and white.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of merchandise. So that's really impressive. And you just trekked all the way back here to Rider University overnight, only to be roused very early for my own wedding shower, which I thank you very much for attending and showing your support, and for the wonderful gift you gave to Carrie and I. And then right from there, we did Arts and Authors Extravaganza. I have to say, this was quite the lovely and rewarding experience, but we'd love to hear it from you, Andrew. What could you give kind of a rough summary of today's events to the audience?
Yeah, so we actually partnered with Arts and Authors Extravaganza, a brand that likes to promote other creators, just like us. We approached them and asked them if they wanted to team up and sort of expand their product in a way that they hadn't seen before. So they put a lot of faith in us to sort of show them the way of StreamYard. And StreamYard really, I think, upped their game and what they are thinking about doing in the future. Now that they kind of see how impressive the platform itself is.
And by the way, if you're out there and you have a book signing venue that you sponsor every year, but you're considering going virtual and you're looking for somebody to stream it for you, One True Promotion is here. As you can see, we stream on a weekly basis all year long. We know the ins and outs of StreamYard. We know the ins and outs of the whole process. So if you're a person out there who would like some help with your stream, you're looking for a couple of people to host you and make sure kind of scale up your production a little bit, look no further than One True Promotion. All you got to do is drop us a line, because we're on Drop a Line, right? All you got to do is drop us a line, and we would be happy to help you out. Andrew, what were your roles today?
So pretty much I handled the banner, the comments, pretty much some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. But I think it was important for us to really establish what was more important to focus on for the both of us, especially with how big of an undertaking the project was. I mean, it definitely could have been run by one person, but I think it went 10 times easier with somebody who was communicating with the talent and working behind the scenes in private chat, while the other person was more or less focused on the production side of it.
That's right. So you focus on the production side. Would you agree or disagree with this? Focusing on the production end of things, that is the technical production end of things, sums up a lot of your role at One True Promotion since our founding. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, yeah, totally. I'm more comfortable behind the scenes, more comfortable with the program at this point. So it's like, I thought it was, especially with what roles we took, I thought the roles that you had were much more suited to your ability. You being able to reach out to the folks, figure out where they are, when they're supposed to be there, as opposed to me, where I was sort of off on my own, just making sure that, the banners were working properly, the comments were working properly, that the stream was working properly. And, especially with so many people behind the scenes, it's the first time we've done it to that extent, where we had that many people at one time. So, it's good to be able to split the roles and, know exactly what we have to focus on. And I know Kim and Kelly were very much pleased with the product at hand. So.
And we were very pleased with them. Thank you again, Kim Ross Hollingsworth, and thank you again, Chandalyn DeVita, for having us and for working with us, for partnering with us and allowing us the opportunity. We greatly appreciate you both. And if you're watching, we hope you're enjoying the show. Andrew, you have what you described about your handling of the production. You did this today for Arts and Authors. You've done it for Drop a Line behind the scenes on a weekly basis for me, and I and the audience are eternally grateful to you for that. But you've also done it for live readings. You've done it for our partnership with Sam Rubenstein, live from the living room. And you've done it as well for writing sprints, back when you used to do weekly writing sprints. Now, all of those are different productions with slightly different sets of rules. And you've run tech for every one of them. I'm just curious, what are some things you learned along the way, or some things that really surprised you? for the production enthusiast?
Well, the rule number one is that if you think you have it all figured out, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter how well you plan, something goes wrong, and you have to be ready when and if it does happen. I think that's the number one thing to keep in mind. Like, it just practice, and eventually you get to the point where you can just troubleshoot right then and there. And there'll be times where, something will happen and you won't know exactly what to do at first. That you have to troubleshoot. It's just a matter of just rolling with the punches and pretending as if nothing happened.
Yep, pretty much. Yep. Appearances are everything, right? You can't recover from a bad reputation. So the most important thing is ultimately what you make of it on air, right? That's really good advice. I agree with that. I remember when you were doing writing sprints, you were the first person of the two of us to introduce streaming with multiple people. At the time, and like I said, you've done it in different ways. You did a thing with writing sprints where you would have one guest on StreamYard and you would have another guest over here on Instagram, and they didn't see each other, but you were listening to both of them in each of your ears. And yet we've also done things like today where we were bringing everybody into the chat room as part of a continuous process, the StreamYard chat room, rather. I'm curious, do you have any specific preferences for how you run your, shall we call it, your dream stream?
Not exactly. I mean, when it comes to running the stream, as long as it runs the way it's supposed to, I'm happy. Really, that's all it is. I'm real happy with StreamYard and how easy it is to use. Instagram could be a little bit finicky. It doesn't play well with others. I mean, Instagram isn't my favorite at all.
Just pointing my
I
evil
love
monkey
you all on
from
Instagram.
Family
Don't
Guy.
get me wrong. Nothing against you guys on Instagram. It's just Instagram is a lone wolf, and I'm coming to really enjoy the group aspect that is StreamYard and the reliability that it has.
I am the evil monkey in Instagram's closet. Okay. All right. I'm done embarrassing myself live on the air for about 5 minutes. So, hey, it's Kay is here. Welcome. We haven't seen you in a while. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Michael. Welcome, Ariel. Welcome, KG Layden. Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. So good to see you here. So, leave us a comment. Leave us a question. We are interviewing Andrew tonight, and we were just talking about his experiences with the production side of One True Promotion, at which he excels. But did you know that Andrew is also an author who has sold 400 copies of his book, The Sanguinary Song? Sorry, Sanguinary Song, not The Sanguinary Song. And he is stepping into a new role as well. So we will get to the new role. But before we do, Andrew, give us a couple notes from the author side of things. What is it? How would you describe the work that you do as an author?
Oh yeah, life has been crazy. That's all right. Hey, it's Kay.
It's all right. It's all right. We love having you here.
In terms of the writing side of things, I think it's mostly my focus has been how to get more eyes on my book, right? What weird things to try. I sort of call myself the gopher of sorts because I always look at all these cool new things and figure out, okay, well, I'm going to try this. And if it doesn't work, it's only going to affect me. It's not going to affect anybody else. So, I tried Amazon Ad School, and that turned out to be very, very helpful. I've looked at the beta reading process. I've looked at what other authors are doing and sort of incorporated my own style into that and how we could best use that to relaunch, Barker's Rules and Living in Fear when it drops again. And of course, to launch for the very first time, the Calipar or Children of Arc.
That's right.
So it's really been experimenting on what we can do as authors and essentially what I can do to help others should I need to.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to put it because that's exactly what you've done. I mean,
when I collect all the things you've done and picture you having not been here for this process, I think to myself,
what seriously, what would I have done? What would I have done all those days without Andrew? I mean, Andrew really is just. I don't say this lightly. He is the backbone of One True Promotion. He is truly just the guy who keeps us all going. He keeps us on track, even if he doesn't appear in the public eye. He makes sure that we have what we need. He makes sure that we're being diligent with our posting. And really, he's the backbone. He believes in this brand as a vehicle to make all of our dreams come true, and he just makes sure that brand runs right. Yeah. Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, yeah, if that's what you think of me, but for me, I think the number one concern has always been outreach. I know when we first talked about doing this, the first thing that I was saying was, how can we take this and help other people with it? Because that's the only reason why I would want to do something like that, is to help somebody else. Because one thing that frustrated me, especially being a first-time author, there was a lot of things that I had to learn for myself. And there's a lot of things that I ran into that delayed me that I don't want others to, run into and get delayed by. So my primary focus is making sure that if I have gone through it, you don't go through it. And whatever that may be, it actually should expedite your plans tenfold, hopefully.
One True Promotion is here to expedite your process based on all that we have learned. Definitely come to us for publishing advice as well. So, Andrew, we've talked a lot about the work you do and how you do the work that you do. But hey, at the end of the day, this is about the stories, right? Tell us, what is Sanguinary Song?
So, Sanguinary Song is a magical first in the Sanguinary series of magical YA novels. And it is a tale about a evil that lurks in the shadows, and it's up to Christina Vega, a witch, to basically confront this evil and make sure that it never sees the light of day.
Nice. And what kind of, without giving away any spoilers, a lot of people have read this book. You've sold over 400 copies, and you have received back some reviews. And what are some things people like about the story?
First and foremost, the characters and the character development. I think that's the number one thing I see in terms of reviews, is that they really do love the in-depth review of characters, how different the characters are from one another, and how emotional the characters make you feel. Definitely feel like we get connected with these characters and really learn to root for them. And I think that's at the heart of the series itself, is getting you invested in the characters and what's actually going on in the story.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And I tell you, it really is a book that packs a punch in that way. For me, the characters leapt off the page. The characters absolutely leapt off the page. I felt very invested in who they were as people. I felt like I could kind of make out their voices, like they were talking right next to me. I could see them very clearly. And I felt things when things would happen to them. I felt for them. I would say to myself, oh my goodness. There's one or two parts that are not for the faint of heart, but a challenging read is always a good read, is it not? And who is that gentleman behind you? I must ask.
So that's Drake Jucana. He is an antagonist for the Sanguinary Song and a constant piece of danger that is always on the mind of Christina Vega. He has followed her since childhood, and the two of them have tangled for quite some time.
Every story needs a good villain, right? Drake Jucana is joining the stream with us tonight, and as you can see, he is a fellow that does not play around. Benji Carr, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Yes, I am Pangea. Thank you for stopping by. This is my live stream, Drop a Line, and we are interviewing my co-founder of our entertainment and broadcasting brand, One True Promotion, Andrew Bast himself. I have a question about Mr. Jucana there, and this could be a spoiler-ridden question, so it doesn't require a full answer. Maybe just something of a tease for the audience, you know. But obviously, we've read a lot of vampire lore. Thank you so much, Benji. We've read vampire lore and zombie lore and demon lore and just all of the lores, and we've read it over in many different varieties and many different forms, sometimes with different spins. But tell me, what kind of supernatural being is that fellow behind you?
I think that's part of the mystery, 100% of the Sanguinary series. I think that's something that the characters aren't exactly sure of, because up until this point in history, no one has really heard of whatever Drake is. And you can certainly say that Drake embodies a lot of the elements of the creatures you provided there. You said zombies. Like, it definitely looks like something out of a zombie flick. Vampire definitely looks like something out of a vampire flick. You know, anything along those lines. I mean, I think that's the beauty of Drake, is that he draws curiosity to the eye, and everybody wants to know what he is, who he is, and what he's doing. So I think that is a particularly awesome theme within the story itself, is the mystery of what is Drake and what are his people and where do they come from.
As you can see, Andrew's imagination is absolute fire. It is boundless, and it'll take you all the way across the universe and back. And his work ethic and the production talents he's picked up along the way are facilitating his process of getting this vision out to people, with 400 books already sold. Those are the merits of Andrew. And this is a great segue, I think, into our primary topic for the night. Andrew, who doesn't do anything for himself. He doesn't do all of this just for himself. He always wants to give back. Andrew, who has learned so much in the development of his vision and the publication of that vision, is announcing a new service available to all of you there in the audience. Andrew, would you like to make your announcement here and now?
Well, it's not exactly new. I mean, so I am running a podcast, Talk is Bast. I ran this podcast up until the pandemic, and then we took a brief break from it. For those of you who don't know, I was sort of stuck in Pennsylvania during the pandemic, or at least the early bits of the pandemic. And the last stream, or the last show that I had, focused around the release of Sanguinary Song, and Alec actually live read the series, which has garnered over 500 views on the Anchor app throughout the world where it's stationed. I took a brief break, figured that was a good place to end season 1 until the pandemic sort of finished, because we weren't sure what was going on there. Plus, I was focused on releasing a novel and finishing up the 265-day challenge. So season 2 is coming back. I'm looking to host some authors, artists, creators. I've got a few already volunteering to line up. But if you're somebody in particular who doesn't like to be on the screen like I do offer a platform where you can actually speak your mind and introduce yourself on a virtual world where you're not showing your face. And for me, I thought that was super important, because we already have Drop a Line, and we already had writing sprints, which are still going to happen from time to time. But with Drop a Line, it's more or less you're face to face with the person. You get to see what they look like. You get to see them show things, in the background. But people might not be comfortable with this face-to-face format. People might not be comfortable with them seeing their face. There's a lot of artists out there. There's a lot of authors out there who would prefer to go by a pen name or to be anonymous entirely. So Talk is Bast is a good way for those individuals, or even just any individuals of any kind who just want extra exposure, to get out there and sort of tell their story.
Amen. I love Talk is Bast. I've been on Talk is Bast. Talk is Bast is a lot of fun. If you are interested in Talk is Bast, definitely DM Andrew. He'll get you all set up. But I was more so referring to the whole literary agent thing. Can we talk about that?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I have decided as of late to become an literary agent. It was just a matter of time at this point. For those of you who don't know, back when Alec was contracted with Seven Horns, I would always volunteer to go to events with him and help him set up and pretty much help him however he needed to, whether it was carrying the books in, making sure that, I was handing out cards or whatever, staying present at the table where he used the bathroom. There's a lot of things that go into the decision, but definitely events and event discovery was a big part of me getting into this. And essentially what I want to do is be that person, like I said before, who knows where to go if you have an issue. I want to be the person that knows how to find an event for you, how to help you at that event, because I've seen the other side of it, right? And, not knocking Seven Horns. They're, awesome people there. But, like, I was there. I was helping Alec, and the services that I provided him were just too invaluable compared to what they were sharing with him at the time. So, taking that in mind, I wanted to be able to extend that to other people and be able to help them sort of find themselves like Alec has as an independent author as of late.
I'm very, very excited. I'm excited that you're taking this step. I am very excited that people are going to be able to work with you in this capacity. See, I think it's so great because we do have traditional publishing houses and agents and a market for agents. We do have vanity publishing and boutique publishing and all these publishing houses that, make deals with people and find people online. But when it comes to the indie scene, when it comes to the independent author self-publishing scene, which many people prefer, because if you publish with a vanity publisher, for instance, they take a cut, but you're still doing all of the work. So all the work of a self-published author, in which if you are self-published, you get to keep the majority. You get a much higher royalty, and you're only sharing with the seller. In this case, Amazon. The only caveat really, is that the indie scene can be a little difficult to navigate on your own. It can be hard to know who to talk to. It can be hard to know what business strategy works. It can be hard to develop your own business plan while you're struggling to build a following and you're not sure what's going to bring followers in. And that is something that I think is so invaluable about the service Andrew is providing. We are making it work as One True Promotion. We are making it work. Andrew in particular has made it work. He's built his following. He's gotten his book sold. He's run these productions. He has learned the ins and outs of the indie business. And he is offering it to you as a literary agent you can DM and work with as a self-published author, just to help get you started and guide you through the process. I really cannot stress enough to our audience that what Andrew is offering here is an offer you really just don't get. It's almost a once in a lifetime opportunity.
And see, that's just the thing, though. Like, you look online about literary agents and how much they make and what they go by and everything like that, and it's more or less like you need a small fortune to afford these guys, right?
Yeah.
And you need the luck that they'll notice you. Like, you have to campaign for their attention, and sort of the indie community really kind of gets the snub there, where they can't really figure out what to do, or they have to figure it out on their own. And that can be stressful, and it takes a lot of money and effort you're putting into it. And it's just 10 times easier if somebody can be there to help you to a degree and be like, I tried this and this didn't work for me. You might want to try this because it worked for me,
Mm-hmm. Now, just so I don't put my foot in my mouth, is this a paid service or a volunteer service?
At this point in time, it's entirely free. I'm looking for people to take my services and in exchange for a review to help me build clientele. And I think you can't beat it for a free service for my time, which I consider to be very valuable, especially since I'm focused so solely on One True Promotion and focusing on the release of Children of Arc. For me to sort of set aside my time for free to help you guys, You can't beat that 100%.
You can't
And
beat that.
what's the worst that can happen? You come over, you ask for some help, and I maybe find something you had never seen before. There you go. And then you have something you didn't before.
That's right. One True Promotion is all about building up our brand. You know, nobody pays us to come on Drop a Line and get an interview. Nobody pays to be on Talk is Bast. Nobody pays for literary agent services. Nobody pays for us to host one of their productions, as we did for Arts and Authors today. All of these partnerships for us help us to build up our brand and for us to be visible when the two of us put out our books. So there is something in it for us, just so you know, because it's always a little fishy when somebody comes around and says, hey, I got free stuff for you, right? There absolutely is everything in it for us when it comes to building our brand. And that's all Andrew is asking. He's asking for people who work with him to review him, to not sweep him under the rug, but review him, make sure that he is public and publicly known, and that people can continue to request his service. In exchange just for that, he's pretty much offering you a gold mine in the form of experienced and seasoned guidance on your self-publishing journey. So I think it is just unbeatable, really. I think I'm so happy you are taking this step, and I think that people watching this episode who might be interested are going to be so pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely. And I'll work hard for you. That's one thing I can promise you. I work hard for anything I do. For anyone I work hard for. I don't know how to be lazy. It's unfortunately been beat out of me to the point where I just don't know how to do it. So,
are they in the very next room?
Yeah, probably. No, like you're also talking about a person who spent the whole week taking a week away from his family, friends, to go educate kids about political government for no money or any experience other than to improve the lives of those kids and give them an experience that they have never seen before and will last with them throughout the rest of their lives. You know, when I go down there as an instructor, I at average get an hour of 2 to 3 hours of sleep per night. I'm very exhausted by the time we come back, and I usually sleep for like the entire day. But yeah, essentially, you know, it's not something you're going to see from me is for me to, take a shortcut or to be too lazy. I really want to work for you. And if you hire me to work for you, I will give you the best that I possibly can give.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I promise.
No, not much. So, Andrew, you have given us a fantastic pitch this evening. You've talked about your services as a literary agent. You have talked about the Sanguinary Song and what it is about and how it is doing. We've talked about the production side of things. What I want to know from you is if there's anything that you want to bring up that has not yet been brought up, that you've just been itching to share with a live audience.
Yeah, review people, please.
Yes, please do.
I will be very blunt with that.
Yeah.
Reviewing somebody is about the best thing you could do for an indie author or any creator of any kind. And it doesn't take that much effort. You can literally go on Amazon or like another service like Goodreads, literally hit just 5 stars and call it a day. You don't even have to write an explanation. If you prefer to write an explanation, we would love to hear it, even if it's something that's bad and be like, oh, you hated the book. Like, hey, tell us what you hated about it. That way we can learn. But at least like if you read a book, take like the 5 minutes to literally review the author. It goes a long way. And it helps them get noticed. Once you hit a particular set of views on Amazon, you get put on what's called the preferred you list. So literally when they come on, the book will pop up more often when people are on the database. And it helps the author get further down the bestseller list, or further up, I should say. So yeah, review an author book today. Seriously.
Yes, and that goes out to all the indie community. Every indie author you know who you purchase their book and read, please do review them. All of our friends here on Drop a Line. I actually owe our friend Justin a Goodreads review. I'll have to get to that before I turn in tonight. But here's the thing, everybody. I feel like if I could just stress the importance the assumption is often made when you purchase an item that your money goes a long way. And it does. It's good. We do get a little bit of money for your purchase. But the thing is that when you spend money on a book, the person that you're primarily paying is the seller, Amazon.com, while the author has signed a deal with them to receive a small royalty of, say, could be as low as 30% sometimes. You do set your royalties with Amazon. I'm not trying to skew the Kindle Direct Publishing process or anything. But the bottom line is that an indie author might see a purchase and appreciate that purchase, but only receive a tiny little bit of money for it and not get many more purchases because nobody's really talking about it. The best way you can pay self-published authors and artists of any kind for their work is to leave them reviews. When the reviews start coming in, people start talking about you. They put you on lists. They mention you at conventions. They show your product to new visiting customers. They say, hey, you might want to consider buying this because it's doing well. It's highly reviewed. So your money goes a long way. Your money is appreciated. But the bigger payment, if you want to directly pay the author and not the seller, the best way to do that is with a review. So please do leave us reviews. Andrew, the reason I say this, the reason I say all of that and stress it so deeply is because I just couldn't help noticing that Andrew has sold over 400 copies of his books, and about 10% of those people left him a review. And that's just a sign to me that people are not really in the habit of reviewing. When you go to Walmart and you buy a household appliance, you don't necessarily leave Walmart a review. You know what I mean? And you don't do that with authors either. You're not leaving the seller a review, but the authors who are contracted need reviews. And I tell you, if Andrew has sold 400 books, I would love to live in a world where that means he sees 400 reviews. You know what I'm saying, guys? So help a brother out here, right?
Yeah, and to be fair, I've gotten plenty of reviews on Facebook where people are like, "Oh, I love the book," or they sent me a message on Messenger. It's like, "Hey, yeah, I love the book. Really cool. I loved it." And I was like, all right, can you put that on Amazon? Because Amazon's the only one that cares about that.
You have to put it into the system. You have to put it into the system in which the merchant can see it. The merchant and the seller doesn't check the author's Facebook accounts. They only check their own accounts. So the merchant has to see it in order for them to give that product the push that it needs to be visible to more people. And that's what we're all about. We're all about getting more readers, getting more people in our community, letting more people know about us, more people to join the live streams and receive our services. So yeah, it's all about those reviews. Okay? So help my friend Andrew out, please, by leaving him a review. And,
hey, it's Kay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Definitely find time to read more this summer. I know I have a reading goal. I'm hoping to read at least one book a month. I think that's pretty doable, especially with me closing in on the last few books of the Last Kingdom series. For those of you who don't know about the Last Kingdom, it's 13 books, and I made the mistake of purchasing the first 10. And now I'm stuck in a loving relationship with the Last Kingdom series, which I absolutely love. But now I'm afraid to cheat on the Last Kingdom series with anything else because I just want to rush through it and see what happens next, especially when Uhtred Ragnarsson comes running around and saving everyone's tail from the dreaded Vikings.
Oh, Andrew, that's another thing. You are a historian who enjoys this sort of material. Does that come into play at all in Sanguinary Song?
Oh, absolutely. History, mythology, it's all my jam. I've been focusing on rebranding as of late. And, right on my rebranding, it says historian, writer, magic enthusiast. And it's like I am a literary agent who's focused on securing your place in history.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it.
Still working on it, but
still working on it.
I'm also working on a personal logo. More on that sooner down the road. I got my best person on it.
where can we find all of these wonderful things? Where will they be posted?
All on Facebook, Instagram, all over the place.
Very
I had to
nice.
go, and then now I started a full-time student teaching. Student teaching.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Oh,
What grade? What grade and what subject? I'm curious. Now I'm working full-time and finishing the summer class. That's awesome.
I just want to
student taught once upon a time.
I just want to revisit the subject very briefly, Kay. Just to clarify, we're not telling everybody to drop what they're doing and read us. You know, we know people have lives. What we are saying is, for those who are reading us, just take that extra couple minutes to leave us those reviews, please, because it's almost like, you know, we rely on your public record to know how we did, and if there's no record, you know, we pretty much just vanish into the wind. So that's what we're saying. We're not saying that everybody has to put us at the top of our reading list.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Just finished second grade and was hired as a preschool teacher in the fall. Congratulations. That is so hard to do, especially coming out of your student teaching year.
It is. Yeah, well, we wish you the best. We wish you the best of luck. We know you will do a fabulous job. Thank you very much for supporting us the way that you have. And around this time, Andrew, usually I give the guests the option to read a little segment of their book. Would you like to read any of Sanguinary Song for us?
Not usually my thing.
Or would you prefer it if I did?
I like it when you read my stuff because you are a much better reader than I am.
Should I read some of Sanguinary Song? What do y'all think? Should I read some Sanguinary Song tonight? Okay, all right. Well, this is Sanguinary Song right here, and we're going to do this. All right, that is Broken Fools. Please buy it.
You're going to read some Cow part tonight or some Children of Arc?
Not tonight, my friend. Not tonight. Tonight's about you. Tonight is about you. Tonight I'm going to open to 2 random pages of Sanguinary Song.
Ooh, Russian roulette. Here we go.
Random pages, and we are just going to just go straight to the slaughter. So, what are we doing? As you can see, I'm lying. I'm clearly searching for a good page instead of opening random pages. So bear with me there.
Thank you. Nap time will be my reading time. Yep.
Sure. It is a tough job, but it is one that is so important to our children and to our society as a whole. And I really hope that it is enriching to you, and that it is rewarding, so that you can have those rewards along with all of your labor. You know, God bless. And those kids are lucky to have somebody who is talented and caring. That's all I'll say on that. So. This is Sanguinary Song. When Frederick had warned her that she was under attack, Christina couldn't feel it. The hex took a moment to set in, but when it did, the symptoms appeared quickly. Christina felt her muscles tense up as if she was carrying something. At first, the feeling was tough, but when Christina tried to move, she felt her body was nailed to the ground. Still, she continued to fight the feeling, attempting to break the spell, but it was too late. Christina knew that once a hex was set, the only way to lift it was to kill the caster or to discover its weakness. This was something she had learned well through the coven. Every hex had a backdoor to drop it, weakness in its design. Spells, like hexes, build off a catalyst from one's mind. Find that catalyst, and one can reverse the spell. Christina thought that to herself. Warlocks were more powerful, and although they could bend the rules of magic, they could not escape its consequences. Christina looked down at the pail and she had a corpse beside her. The body didn't smell, and that surprised her. How long he had been gone, expected the body to have decayed much more. After 5 years, Drake's body was exactly the way she had left it. A stake of wood wedged in hard and veins bulging throughout the skin of his corpse. Father was supposed to return 2 years ago, the master said. She knelt down beside Drake and examined the wound. He had a hunch on how to break the seal on hell. He was confident he could release more of his followers, and went on a quest alone, as he often did. Figured if he could offer the others a place to rule, they would support him in his campaign to rule hell. Looks like your master is dead, Frederick spoke up. supernatural
creatures turn to ash when you kill them.
Yeah, I've never seen this. It's almost as if he's not dead. Masculine snaps, caressed the rotted stick with her fingers. Such a fragile material. It's only suspending him. Once it is removed, will regenerate. If that sounds interesting to you, if you want to see what happens next, this is Sanguinary Song by Andrew Bast. Andrew, tell us a little bit about that passage. How does it feel to have your work read?
That's the first time I've heard that passage read aloud.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some goosebumps there. That scene with Frederick, and the first time you sort of get introduced to his main ability, which is the hex. It's very, very cool. And then there's so much mystery surrounding the masked woman, and calling him father. And you're like, okay, well, what's going on with Drake? I mean, the dude's alive and well back there. How come he's in the ground? And then at the end there, you read he's not dead. He's just pull this out and he's regenerating. And you're off to the races.
Exactly. What happens next? I'm sorry, but we're not going to tell you that here on Drop a Line. You are going to have to get your copy today of Sanguinary Song by Andrew Bast. Andrew, that about wraps up our time. You have anything else for us tonight?
Well, just support Alec. He's going to be publishing a new book, The Children of Arc, which is part of the Calipar series, and it's going to be releasing on December 5th. He's co-authoring that with his fiancée, soon-to-be wife, Carrie. Hello, Carrie, if you're still watching. Nice to see you.
Always nice to see you. And thank you, everybody who came out to our show tonight. Andrew, listen, man. You are in every episode of Drop a Line, even if people don't see you. You are always there behind the scenes, helping out with the sound checks, helping out with the technical stuff, hanging out in the comment section, making sure people are having a good experience. You have been such a tremendous aspect of what makes this show what it is. It's always an honor when we can bring you out topside and just spend an hour talking about you and getting you some promotion. So I hope that tonight was a good experience for you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, anytime, my friend, anytime. And we will certainly see you next time. You have a good night, my friend.
You too.
Thank you for watching Drop Line on Instagram. Thank you for watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Please subscribe to our YouTube. Watch your promotion. We will see you next week.